We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 57 of Vikings Uncensored. It's here, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL Draft Round 1 is tomorrow night. We've been waiting, and it's finally here. So,
welcome to the pre-draft. I'm sorry, dude.
pre-draft spectacular.
Right. That was a little bit delayed, but I got it in there.
Yeah, that'll work. So anyway, we're gonna kind of go draft heavy on the show this week, for obvious reasons. A couple little news things we'll hit first, though. Nothing real major, but
Nothing spicy this week.
well, I guess as of Monday there was one spicy thing. We'll hit that one first, I guess. Being you brought it up. Chicago Bears free agent wide receiver signing, their big splash signing, Byron Pringle got a little bit of trouble on Monday or Sunday night or Monday, one or the other. But
on spicy Pringles.
yeah, he currently has himself a Dodge Challenger Hellcat and went out and was doing a little bit of stuff he shouldn't have been doing and ended up in jail over it. So.
Jeez. I bet Fred Smoot was with him.
No, it wasn't a boat. It was a car.
Oh, it was a motorcycle. No, it was a car. Okay.
Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Yeah, that's a car. Dodge makes cars and pickups.
Oh, a Challenger. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So interesting little deal there. Saw this the other day and thought it was kind of funny. Former Vikings general manager Rick Spielman has taken to TikTok to prognosticate out his draft strategies and whatnot. So if anybody wants any free bad advice leading up to the draft, Rick's on TikTok. So I don't know if we call that Rick Talk or whatever we're going to call it. But yeah, I followed him the other day just for the sake of doing so. I haven't watched any of his stuff yet, but I know one thing he was talking, and I saw this, one of the local media people was talking about it too. Doogie Wolfson brought it up because he did an interview with Rick last week, I guess. Rick Spielman very high on Kyle Hamilton, so
Ooh.
If Rick was still running the show, we have kind of an idea where we would have been going with that. And maybe we still do. Who knows? I mean, we don't know. We'll talk about that later on in the show when we do our mock draft for the.
I'm sure Quessy isn't going to be sitting at the desk being like, "Oh man, it's the way that Rick might pick. We can't do that. We can't do that."
Just as long as he's not sitting there watching Rick's TikTok videos for draft strategy.
Funny.
Then another draft related thing, and it came out. Kansas City's putting the feelers out there that they have both pick 29 and pick 30 in the first round, but the comment came out here over the weekend that they don't know that there's going to be anybody worth a first round grade taking at 29 or 30.
Wow.
Which to me means that they're trying to finagle somebody to do some trading with them.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been hearing too, and I've actually heard our name twisted in those conversations.
You want to give us 29 and 30 to come up to 12? Okay,
that's good point. Good points there.
I mean,
as far as the Jimmy Johnson chart and I think the Rich Hamilton is what they call it now. The other one that they have.
I know Kansas City is in desperate need of a wide receiver. You're frozen.
For the picks right there.
You're
yeah.
Repeat what you just said.
Back. Okay. Can you repeat the part of the stuff where you said all about the things? The things?
No, I think that's 1,200 points worth of value right there compared to what we would have. I would be coming away with a lot of. It'd be good value for us if we got both those picks out of Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, the Jimmy Johnson chart doesn't quite fit as well as it used to, but it's still a guideline to go by. But honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of movement in the draft. Now, there sounds like there's a lot more teams that are looking to trade back than there are to trade up. So
right,
that may suppress.
There's a lot about this draft class then too.
Yeah, well, it's this consensus stud quarterbacks, or no one wide receiver that's jumping off the page at you that's
right
leaps and bounds ahead of everybody. But so I guess we'll see, what happens there. But then a couple Viking type related news things came out on Monday or over the weekend, whichever it was. No huge surprise here. The Vikings are not expected to pick up the 5th-year option for Garrett Bradbury.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Which
must have some sort of renaissance here.
But but they have. I think it's by June they have to May or June. I think they have to pick up that option. So that'll already be decided before he even gets to play this year. So
yeah.
But I mean, we've seen enough out of Bradbury that unless maybe O'Connell and Wes Phillips and company can get something out of him. If we do, I mean, we can still re-sign him next year again. I mean, but if not, then we're able to cut bait and go a different direction. So then there's one other one here, and Lance and I talked about this a little bit this weekend. The NFL Hall of Fame committee has changed the rules now so that up to 3 senior members can be chosen.
Good.
So NFL selection committee, time to stop dicking around and get Jim Marshall into the Hall of Fame.
Do it.
Okay. Do it. Do it.
All right.
Now, you know what? I honestly believe you could make a good case for Chuck Foreman as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that argument. Jim
I'm
Marshall,
gonna tell you what.
But Marshall, in my mind, Marshall absolutely deserves to be in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of the fans, of course, believe that as well.
Oh, by the way, for those of you who remember the discussion we had a couple of weeks ago when we had the Hamm's beer commercial, I found some, and it's just as meh as I remember it.
Yeah, I think Foreman can be put in there too. According to some of these players that are going in, I think you put Chuck in there too.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, so I mean, I'm going to make it my personal goal using this show as a platform, regardless of how small the platform is, but to do what we can do, our small part to get Jim Marshall in. Jim needs to go in, and he needs to go in now.
I honestly believe one of the big things holding him back, and it's silly, is the run back the wrong way.
One play in a otherwise phenomenal career. I mean, the man was an Iron Man.
Didn't miss a game.
Yeah, what was it? 281 games or something like that. That he was playing.
True Iron Man at that position for sure. I mean, in general.
Yeah,
that's crazy, and especially in that time period of football.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, look back. It seems like so many of those old timers never got hurt.
Oh, they got hurt. They just
Yeah,
never.
but they just played through it. They didn't
That's
miss
back when
time.
it was a tough guys game.
They didn't miss time because of it. We'll put it that way. But yeah, anyway, that's most of the news for this week. So we're going to roll into the Brunswick segment of the program here again. This week we are highlighting the top players to wear, number 57.
All right, guys. So this week, I got 4 names for you, and I got 3 players taking a number. So we'll start out my honorable mention, and that would go to Artie Cole. He played here from 2012 until 2016. He ironically appeared in 57 games, starting 7 of those. Now, a lot of you that watch us, all year round, watch the preseason games and all that, probably remember him in a preseason game against the Bills, where he picked off consecutive defensive touchdowns or pick sixes in back-to-back drives. In his time here, I had high hopes for this kid. Just seeing that, it showed me something. But in his time here, he was mostly used as a special teamer and was a good depth guy. And when he was called upon to come in, he was stellar. So that's why he comes in as my honorable mention. So coming in to start off my list at number 3, we have Mr. Chris Martin, old school. He appeared in Minnesota from 84 until 88. He appeared in 67 games, starting 27 of those games. He had double-digit tackles in every season that he was here, 10 being his low in 88, and 98 being his high watermark in 85. He made a few splash plays while playing here and was also a quality depth guy. He made more starts than Artie, so that's what made him slip into this 3 spot. So that puts Chris Martin at my number 3. Moving forward. Now, these last 2 guys, big names, they were here, played a bit of ball. They were both here for 4 seasons. One came in as a purple and gold baby that we drafted, and the other came in as a wily vet out of Pittsburgh. So, coming in with the baby purple gold, we selected Dwayne Rudd in the first round out of Alabama in the 97 draft, the draft preceding the Randy Moss draft, of course. He was a second team All-Pro his sophomore season, 98. And also that same season, he set the NFL record for most fumble return yards in a single season with 157. Rudd also shares with many other players for the most total fumble recoveries for a touchdown in one season, which is 2. Rudd, while not here, is most infamously known for a boneheaded penalty that he made while playing with the Cleveland Browns, where he removed his helmet. I think the opposing team was kicking a field goal. It's a game winner. And after the opposing team had missed that field goal to win the game, Rudd took his helmet off, ref threw a flag, and the opposing team got a chance to kick that field goal again, and they made it. So basically that one boneheaded play by Dwayne Rudd lost that game for the Browns. But we didn't have none of those shenanigans here, really, so thankful for that.
Right.
Dwayne finished his career in Minnesota, appearing in 61 games, starting 46 of those and amassing 325 tackles, 251 of those being solo, forcing 3 fumbles and recovering 4, along with scooping up 2 of those 4 and returning them the yard. Dwayne was also able to compile 10 sacks in his 4 years while playing here. So for that, Dwayne, I was a big fan. You were a name that I'm very, very familiar with, because when I first started watching the team, you were just coming in. So, yeah, you get my number 2 spot, Mr. Rudd. Also, it says a lot when Dwayne left here that linebacker core went to pretty much shit there for a while. So, and him and Eddie McDaniel together, they both ended up leaving. After that, we struggled for a little bit there in the linebacker depth, and so coming in this week at number 1. Now I hadn't heard much of this guy. I knew he played here. The name had rung a bell. I don't remember much of his playing days, but I did put in the work to get the research and get this done. So coming in at number 1, we have Mr. Mike Merriweather. Now, after missing a season due to contract dispute with the Steelers, Mike was traded here for a first-round pick in 1989. I did not know that. Mike was a very solid outside linebacker for us, just as he was for Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, he was able to compile 3 Pro Bowls back when Pro Bowls actually meant something, like we've alluded to before. So Mike appeared in 63 games for the Minnesota Purple and Gold, and also started all 63 of those games. So that says something as well. He came in, he was dependable, didn't get injured, and he started all the games that he was asked to play. So can't ask for much more than that. While he was here, he was able to collect 7 picks, returning 2 of those for touchdowns, with one of them being a 73-yarder. To go along with 7 fumble recoveries, with 1 being a scoop and a score. He was also able to compile a -10 sacks while he was here. Although in his 6 years in Pittsburgh, he was able to snake 31. So he really, when he played for Pittsburgh, was really able to get after the quarterback, apparently. And of course, everyone remembers the infamous post-game Burnsy press conference in which he drops numerous F-bombs and cuss words. Well, in the game preceding that, Mike became the first in NFL history to score the game-winning points in an overtime game with the safety when he blocked a punt out of the end zone in the game against the Rams.
And that led to this play. And what happens next is the first walk-off safety in NFL history. The man who blocks this punt is Mike Merriweather. He had a great career with the Steelers, making it to 3 straight Pro Bowls from 1984 to 86, and finishing 5th in the league in sacks during the 1984 season, when he had 15.
Ending the game with a final score of 23-21 in overtime. And our place kicker at the time, Rich Carless, had scored a then record 7 field goals in that game, accounting for all 21 points that sent that game into overtime. So you can really give Mike a big thanks, and Rich as well, because had we ended up losing that game, who knows what would have transpired in that press conference afterwards.
We won the game, and still the most epic press conference that's ever happened in the NFL.
Burnsy lost it, man. And with that, my friends, my viewers, our subscribers, that ends my list for this week. The top players to wear 57.
All righty. With that, we are going to roll into another one of our classic beer commercials. So you guys head to the fridge, get yourself a new cold one, crack it open, check this out, and we will be back in a minute to go draft heavy the rest of the show.
From the land of sky blue waters.
No matter what your idea of fun is, it's always better when you top it off with a great tasting Hamm's beer. You'll find the land of sky blue waters in every Hamm's.
Hamm's the beer refreshing. Hamm's.
Register to win an Alaskan fishing trip and prizes from Daiwa and Igloo. Sweepstakes details at participating stores where Hamm's is sold.
Consider yourself lucky. Charlie was 6 months old when he started to walk. He trailed me up the wall.
Did you ever notice how most beers are taken for granted? Most beers are taken for granted, but there's one beer that isn't. Let's replay this scene.
Aha, Michelob. What's the occasion?
Really living it up, huh, Larry? Why not? Michelob, great. What are we celebrating?
Michelob, since 1896, brewed by Anheuser-Busch. It's the beer that isn't taken for granted. The beer people really don't expect you to serve them. It's an unexpected pleasure, so surprise people. Serve Michelob.
Everybody wins tonight.
All right, we are back. And now at the end of the show here, we're going to do our mock draft. But before we get into that, we thought we'd kind of hit on some of the players that, we think are definite possibilities for the Vikings to take in the first round tomorrow night. Not necessarily at pick 12, I guess, but the first on the list that earlier, in the offseason looked like it probably was going to be a good shot of him being there is Sauce Gardner. Now, I thought about not even bringing him up because I think there's zero chance
You don't think he's falling to 12, huh?
No, I don't think there's any chance of it at all. I'd be surprised if he gets past pick 7.
And you know what? That's just the magic of the draft. Just when we first started talking about the draft after the season ended, the possibility of Gardner falling to 12 was absolutely realistic sounding. After the process, this is what happens. Players are constantly moving up and down these boards. That's the power of the draft. You can never. It's hard to prophesize where any of these players are going to go.
Right.
So,
of course, if you believe Paul Allen, he thinks we're going to trade up to 4th and take Sauce Gardner.
No, the value's too much there. I mean, it would be stupid.
Yeah, you'd have to give up way too much to go up to 4. And, as we've talked about a couple of times here, elite level cornerbacks aren't as high of a need in Donatell's defense.
We just discussed that. Yep.
And everybody that, say, oh, we have to go cornerback. Those people are still thinking of the mindset of Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer being in charge of this team.
And you know what, Rhino? Honestly, and we've kind of touched on this before, Bynum can play corner, pop him down if he needs to be. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we were to bring in somebody like Hamilton that would be able to step in right away, day one, start next to Harrison Smith, you can slide Bynum. He's a lot like Curse, possibly better, a higher ceiling, but he's played corner in college, so I mean, it's not like the position is foreign to the kid.
Yeah. So being you brought up Kyle Hamilton, we'll hit him next. Of course, here again, he's kind of the opposite of Sauce Gardner. Early on, people were having him going in the top 3-4 players. Then after a little bit of a slow 40 time at his pro day and the combine.
And I think just the fact that he's a safety, that plays into it too. And people are like, their first impression is like, oh my God, he's going to go high. He's got to go high. The talent and what he's done in college, he's going to go high. But then oh, he's safety. Safeties usually don't go very high. Maybe we shouldn't be looking at him so hard like that.
Well, and then that's the thing. There's a lot of people that don't want to take a safety at pick 12. Now, if Kyle Hamilton is there, I'm taking him.
This is a perfect example of how the combine can make you slide down the boards as well.
But this is one thing with Kwesi that we do know about him. He's a numbers guy. He worked in the stock market. He's going to be about maximizing value. And if the value of Kyle Hamilton is sitting there at 12, I think it's going to be real hard for him to pass up on him.
I do too. And I'm going to tell you something right now. A lot of people are going to, if Kwesi, if somebody's not there that we want and we end up trading back, there's going to be those fans out there that are like, oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Rick 2.0.
Yeah. As our buddies Drew and Ted coined, the ESAT nation are going to come out with pitchforks if
everything sucks all the time.
Right. But anyway, moving on. Now you hear some people, when you tell this to some people, they're like, oh my God, we don't need to take a wide receiver in the first round. Why do you ran? Again, the ESAC crowd.
I bet those are the same people that were talking back in 98 too.
Yeah. But you got to think about this in the Kevin O'Connell offense. You look at how the Rams do stuff. They run a ton of 3 wide receiver sets. Yeah, we have KJ Osborne, and KJ Osborne did a nice job as wide receiver 3 last year. But you also have to think Adam Thielen's not getting any younger. He has injury issues. There's a fair to decent chance Adam Thielen won't be on this team next year.
Adam Thielen's probably at the same point in his career that Chris Carter was at when we brought in Randy.
Yeah, I think Carter was more productive at that stage, but
time will tell.
Yeah. The thing of it is, wide receiver is a legitimate. Yeah, I'm here. Wide receiver is a legitimate target in the first round, I believe. And the first one on that list, this would be me. This would be my personal pick if I was taking, would be Chris Olave, the wide receiver out of Ohio State.
Olave.
I mean, to me,
Olave.
Not Ole, Olave. Not oil of Ole.
Olave.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, with Olave, I mean, he's my personal favorite out of the top 3 or top 4, if you want to put London in there as well.
I think Olave reminds me a lot of another Ohio State receiver, and Michael Thomas as well.
Yeah. Very technical, very good in running his routes. He's got deceptive speed.
Yeah. Chris Carter as well, Ohio State.
Yeah.
So
then on to the next one. This guy suffered a ACL injury in the back in January, so he may not be ready to play come the season opener. But Jamison Williams, the wide receiver out of Alabama, interestingly,
burner.
Yep,
he's like got the potential of Jamar Chase the last year coming out.
Mm-hmm. Now I really like Williams's game as well, so I'd be more than happy at taking him. There again, he gets drafted. People are going to go, "Oh my God, you drafted a wide receiver with an ACL injury. What the hell?" I
know.
I can already hear it, but
yeah, that's probably what they sound like too. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Then the next receiver. Yeah. Then the next one, Jermaine Johnson, the edge rusher out of Florida State. We've seen him mocked in and around the Vikings quite a few times, so
I would not be upset. I would be okay with this.
Yeah, and I've heard the Vikings like him. I don't know how much, if they like him enough to take him at 12. I don't know, but then of course one that seems like has been the most popular pick for the last 3 weeks, at least, is Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback from LSU.
I don't see us taking him. Something is telling me that that's not going to happen.
I don't think so either. I have a strong feeling he's probably not going to be there at 12.
No, I think he's going before that. Him and Sauce will be,
because his pro day and everything
is going in the top 10.
Yep. And I'm not going to get into my concerns with Stingley. I've talked about that for a month.
Our concerns are your concerns. I guarantee it. Whoever has concerns about Stingley, I bet ours are exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So,
then beyond that, Jordan Davis, the defensive lineman out of Georgia. I love it. I know you're a big Jordan Davis guy. Myself, not as much, but
he's an animal.
I know he is, but
unblockable.
We'll see.
He's the best around.
Okay, we're not doing karaoke tonight. Then after that, these next 4 are probably players that, if we trade back a little bit, are more in the realm. The first one being Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington. Now, I know a lot of mocks have had us taking him at 12, and it's very possible it could. I think he would be somebody that we would probably, if we could slide back, into the late teens someplace, probably still get him there.
Mm-hmm.
If the Saints decide they want to try to jump up and get a quarterback or something, if somebody's on the board that they want, or
It's been a long time since we've had a ball hockey corner here.
mm-hmm.
And we've hit on this one a few episodes back.
Yeah,
but it's been a long time since we have had a ball hawking corner. We got Smith. He's known to hawk some balls back there every once in a while.
Right.
But as far as corner, it's been a long time since we've had somebody. Breland had his shot last year. He could have had 7, 8, 9 picks last year, but he dropped 6, 7 of them. So
yeah. Then one other cornerback that we've seen with mid to late first round grade on him would be Andrew Booth Jr., the cornerback out of Clemson. For those of you who are concerned with the size and length of McDuffie, Booth is a little bit more your.
That's what I was just gonna say. He's got the size and the length.
A little more length to him.
Yeah.
Good player. Wouldn't be upset if we ended up taking him either.
Especially in the second round, that'd be great.
Yeah, if he falls to the second, that would definitely be a good pick up there. Then these two guys, I like both of them. The first one I have been a big fan of for at least this entire season. If not, I watched a few Georgia games. Nicolby Dean, the linebacker.
Yeah, I was really high on him to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tackling machine. Makes a lot of tackles. He can play sideline to sideline. He can blitz the quarterback if he's asked to.
Yeah.
So I'm really high on him as well.
Yeah. And then the other guy, it's very similar on the skill set level, I believe. I saw quite a few of this kid's games just because my daughter was going to school out there at the time, so I tended to watch. But Devin Lloyd, the linebacker out of Utah. Now, I haven't really heard a whole lot about him lately.
No, I haven't really heard much
there,
about him
there was
in
a
general.
lot more. Well, him and Dean both. There was a lot more buzz. It seemed like earlier on. Now they're guys that are being pegged in the mid-20s someplace as far as being picked. Like I said, I like both players. If we got one or the other of them, I consider that a win and be happy about it. But
I see a lot of skill players going in the first round this year as far as offensive weapons.
Yeah, of course there are a handful of tackles too that are going to go in the top 10, which is fine with me because we don't need a tackle, so that can push some of the potentially.
The more offensive players that go in the top 10, the better, in my opinion. So,
yeah. So with that, with that, we are going to roll into. We did this last year and kind of had a little fun with it. So we're going to do it again this year. We're going to do a Vikings Uncensored mock draft. Now we're not going to go through and do the entire first round because once you get
I thought we were doing all 7 rounds.
No.
Nah, I don't have all night. But once you get past pick 12, we really don't care because we're not going to do trades in here because that just kind of messes everything up. Okay, so with the first overall pick, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, for quite a while, it's been kind of a no-brainer that Aiden Hutchinson, the edge rusher out of Michigan, was going to be the first pick.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of steam now the last 2 or 3 days that they might be zeroing in on Trayvon Walker and not Aiden Hutchinson.
I've heard a little bit of that rumbling as well.
And Vegas actually has Walker as the odds-on favorite to be number 1. Now.
Well, then I think we should go Walker there then.
You think we go Walker? All right, we'll go Walker.
Now, you already know Detroit's going to fuck this pick up.
Yeah. So, as you see under the team needs, basically the only thing they don't have listed is kicker, punter, and long snapper.
Do you think they go Hutchinson here?
I think it's a very good possibility.
Two edge rushers to begin the draft. That's
I
nuts.
also would not rule out Detroit shocking people and taking Malik Willis here.
That would be huge. Honestly, I would be happy for Detroit. As much, as much as I don't like that they're my division, I always see myself when they're not playing us kind of rooting for them because they've always been an underdog.
Yeah.
I would like to see Detroit make that jump and get that pick. Willis would be great there, I think.
Yeah.
Rodney Pete 2.0.
He's going to be a hell of a lot better player than Rodney Pete.
I know. I know.
But can you take a chance on somebody like Willis there and pass up on arguably the best edge rusher in the draft in Aiden Hutchinson though?
I don't know, man. That's flip a coin.
Yeah.
Heads they go Willis, tails they go Hutchinson.
I don't have a coin, but
I do. A nickel.
All right, flip it.
Tails.
They go Malik Willis. All right.
All right.
Hello.
Not responding.
All right, there we go. Okay, Houston Texans. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. They are in bad need of offensive tackle.
Do you think Sauce goes here?
Honestly, I would almost think with Aiden Hutchinson on the board here, yet that they would take him, but
I got edge there,
it's either going to be, I think, it'll be an offensive tackle or an edge rusher with the way the board is sitting here.
You go Neal?
I would say either Neal or Hutchinson. Their offensive line is absolute garbage. So, I mean, I'll give him Evan Neal if you think so.
Yeah, I would go that. First offensive lineman off the board.
Okay.
Hutchinson falling.
If Hutchinson's on the board at 4, he's not getting
No,
past
he's
4.
going to the Jets.
He's going to the Jets here. Now,
Yep.
this was a spot where I've seen Sauce Gardner taken quite a bit, but you can't pass.
Not if Hutchinson falls that far.
You
He's
can't
gotta
pass
go
on
there.
Aiden Hutchinson here.
No.
All right.
Also,
Now-
offensive tackle here would be a big,
Yep.
it's a big need here.
Everything on the board still. I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau is still there. Sauce Gardner's there. Both needs. I would say I would either say.
You can even go Hamilton here, honestly. As much as I don't want to, but you could.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go here though. I would almost say, especially with there being the offensive minded head coach there now, that they're going to want to work on that line, and I'd say Iquanu.
Yeah. Pop him in there too. That was my first instinct as well.
Okay. Now, this is where it really starts to get interesting. Carolina, desperate need of a quarterback. Now, there's been a lot of buzz that this is probably the likely landing spot for Baker Mayfield.
Mayfield?
Yeah, I've heard saying that they're going to want to trade for Baker Mayfield once the draft.
Wow.
Is
I'd rather roll the dice on Pickett than go after Mayfield, honestly.
I don't like Kenny Pickett. I just don't.
I don't either, but I don't like Baker Mayfield that much either as well.
Yeah, but you got to look at with Baker gives him a better chance to win this year. And
win in Baker Mayfield in the same sentence.
If they don't make a turnaround this year, Rule is gone at the end of the year. So, I can see there being apprehension about drafting a rookie quarterback here, because if you're doing that, you're basically going to give Rule another year at least.
What are you thinking?
I mean, Charles Cross here, they need offensive line help. They need edge rusher. Thibodeau's there. Could go any number of ways here. I mean,
I'd give him Pickett, dude.
You want to give him Kenny Pickett? All right.
Yep.
The first shock of the draft is
I don't know. Willis going to Detroit there is pretty big too.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. It doesn't want to let me draft pick. Hold on. There we go. All right. Now with the Giants back on the board, they took care of their offensive line issues the first time around.
They're going to go and take care of their defensive line edge issue here.
I would say Thibodeau goes here.
Yep.
All right. Now the Falcons, here's another one that needs pretty much everything. But looking at their weapons, and especially with Calvin Ridley being suspended for the year for,
I was thinking wideout. Yeah.
I think this is where the first wideout goes.
Olave.
No, it's too, I don't think it'd be Olave here. I was thinking Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
He's the highest ranked wide receiver on the board.
Yep, I see that.
So we'll give him there. Now.
They should have picked Olave there.
I mean, Garrett,
if I was GM, that's who I would have went with.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I can
Rhino.
see that, but yeah. Okay, so now the Seahawks picking at 9.
Shithawks.
I mean, here again, there's a lot of different ways they could go.
They almost have to go offensive line. That offensive line is so bad there in Seattle. Quarterback.
Yeah, I would say it's either Charles Cross or Sauce. They need cornerback help too.
I could see him going Sauce here. Honestly, too, yeah. I would say Cross or Sauce.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have they got Drew Lock as their quarterback right now, so.
Right, that's a need too. Do they come up and get Ritter?
I think they probably try to hit Ritter with their other pick they have later on.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Okay.
But
I'd give him Sauce here.
You're gonna give him Sauce, all right.
Yeah.
And
the Jets.
The Jets. I figured that
Stingley is. I could see Stingley going there, man.
Yep. Because I figured Sauce wasn't going to get past pick 10 the way the board is falling here. I'm honestly would have thought Sauce would have went earlier, but I guess we didn't pick it that way. Yeah. Cross is another one here that could easily go. They could take a wide receiver. What do you think?
I'd go Stingley.
Stingley, all right.
Yep.
Now the
You almost got to go receiver here.
Yeah, I think so.
Pair up with McLaren.
Drake London, Jameson Williams, or Chris Olave.
Jameson, honestly, I think.
You think they're going?
I can see Kansas City really interested in this pick.
Or does Washington try to find somebody who's ready to play right away? Because like we talked about earlier, Jameson Williams might not be ready to start the season.
Well, then you're going with Drake London, I would think.
Okay. Which brings us to pick 12. And the way this board is falling.
He's there. I would take him. I would go with Hamilton.
The way this board is fallen, it could go any number of ways. Jameson Williams is there.
This is a very attractive board to me right now. At this point,
Olave is there. Kyle Hamilton is there. Jermaine Johnson's there. Charles Cross. We don't need an offensive tackle, so Cross is off the board.
Cross could be crossed off.
Now, with the amount of good players sitting here, this could be, if we were doing trades, the stuff that's sitting up here could potentially get us a decent enough haul that we would move back, a handful of spots.
But you make sure you get your value. You don't settle for something. If somebody's coming to trade, you make sure you get as much as you can
Yep.
And if not, you still have a good looking board sitting in front of you to go and get somebody.
Right. And since we aren't doing trades, we've been talking about this for
You race to there
weeks.
and put him in.
If he's on there and we don't pick him, then we have just been blowing smoke up everybody's asses for.
This is our guy, pretty much.
Yep.
This is our consensus guy right now.
Yep. So we are taking Kyle Hamilton there at pick 12. And there again, there leaves a lot of good players on the board to see what the second half of this draft goes. Will that pan out that way? I guess time will tell.
Still a lot of good names up there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you look.
We had a pick of the litter right there.
Yep, Jermaine Johnson's there. Williams is there. Jordan Davis. Of course, we're not taking Ritter. We're not taking Penning. Devontae Wyatt, who I like. McDuffie's there. Olave. Devin Lloyd. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, we said we were only going to go up through 12, so that we will do.
We walked away with a good pick, I think.
I think so too. I mean, that's arguably the best value at the board.
Honestly, I could see it. Hamilton falling right into our laps and having that be, a talking point in the war room. So I mean, we'll find out come Thursday night, tomorrow night.
Yep. So with that, that's about all we've got for tonight. Again, want to thank everybody for watching, for joining us on our pre-draft spectacular. Looking forward to the next 3 days of NFL mayhem, I guess you want to call it. It's going to be very
Sunday night, guys.
Yes, Sunday night, 6:00 Central Time. We will be doing a live post-draft
wrap.
So make sure you guys tune in for that. Again, thank everybody for watching. Make sure you go check out our buddies Drew and Ted over at the Vikings Report. They're tomorrow night and Friday night. Drew, Ted, Christopher Gates, and a cast of guests and commenters will be on for both the first 2 nights of the draft. So going to be a good time over there. So make sure you guys go check that out. You might even see us pop on there at some point in time. But again, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps us out a ton with all the metrics. If you're out and about, check us out on all of your audio podcasts. And with that, why don't you take us out of here, Lance?
Exciting week in the off season, fellas. A day away from figuring out how this new era is gonna go. I'm excited. I'm sure you guys are all excited. This is what we've been waiting for all off season. Things are gonna start kicking themselves into gear. Let's see where this train takes us.
Absolutely.
With that being said, we will see you Sunday night on the live draft wrap up at 6 p.m. And thanks for coming and checking us out for the pre-draft special. Cal Hamilton, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm more than okay with that. So we'll see you guys. And Jim Marshall for the Hall of Fame. You guys are voting. Get on it.